Yo, what is up, bros? We are back with another update. We got the great Patriotic War mod Big Map version 1.1. So, what's new? Added a second 1939 conquest in the 1943 scenario spot that starts out containing no units. Play tutorial 1 to unlock. More about that later. You can still recruit units. This is for the players that had to wait up to 15 minutes between rounds. Hold on, is that an exaggeration or did it really take 15 minutes? Because I never tried the conquest, I just played the mission. If that's true, that's nuts. Added 4 new perspectives of the Axis, 1 mission. So basically, the Germany massive map that you play with, except you get to play with other nations. So if you go to Axis 2 on normal, you can play with Estonia. If you go to Allies 1 on normal, you get to play with the Soviet Union. So that's for you guys that were asking me how I was able to play it when I was trying to do my historical campaigns of Soviets, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So it's a fatal 3-way, Axis versus Allies versus Soviets. Allies 2 on normal, you get to play with Egypt, and Allies 3 on normal, you get to play with France. Actually, nix that. I just seen he messaged me. Egypt and French missions are currently bugged, so yeah, forget about that. So about unlocking them. To unlock these missions, play tutorial 1 only after you've recruited all the generals you will ever need. After you recruit the generals, close the app and re-enter and play tutorial 1. The game will crash, but once you reopen it, all the missions and conquests are unlocked. So I was trying to understand what he was meaning. So I fooled around here. If you play tutorial 1, it must still be bugged. You must still be working on it a little bit, but you can't not buy any generals. Like where the medals are for recruiting them, it's grayed out. So you need to decide like who you're going to play with, buy those generals that you want, and then play tutorial 1. Unless you want to uninstall it and have to reinstall it again. Yeah. So as far as the game crashing, that's what happened to me. Right at the end of tutorial 1, it crashes right as you're finishing, and then you open it back up, and the conquest and the missions are open. So anyways, instead of providing a direct download link to the mod, I want to provide the link to the Conqueror's channel to try to get his video a little bit more views. So in his description, he will have the download link. So go visit his channel, show him some support for modding, and let's check out these missions. So Allies 1 should be the Soviet Union. And it is. So what I was telling you guys about this was I tried to do, the historical campaigns. I fell back to Moscow, to Stalingrad, to Leningrad. But the Germans would just not cooperate. They completely abandoned the Western Front. The Allies were at Warsaw. The Germans were all in some big circle jerk right here for no reason whatsoever. Like this whole area down here was completely open, no enemies. So I don't know what they were doing. It ruined the series before it ever even got started for the most part. I did want to look at something. Do you remember when I said that in the original Denmark is 4 hexes vertical, and then the conquest it was 7, and in this it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that gives you a little bit of perspective. So I'm going to check out Egypt and France. I'm kind of curious about it being bugged. Like what happens? It just crashes as soon as you move? Allies 2 should be Egypt. Alright, yeah, so we're Egypt. We're just like, hey, I want to move, I want to attack something. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Alright, we are back. I still want to look at the French, though. Which one was that? Number 3. So that we know what's coming once he works out the bugs. So, there's probably going to be another update here within, I don't know, the week. Maybe. He's usually pretty good at fixing bugs. So, yes. This would be great. This would be glorious. I want to play with the French. Hey, remember who this is? Rudolf Hess. 100% Rudolf Hess. So yeah, it looks like only when you play the Soviets is it like a fatal 3-way. The other missions with Egypt and France, you're still allies with the Soviet Union. Alright, bros. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Slap the like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and I will see you back here for our next upload. Peace. Bruchminati out.